Good afternoon. We will start the webinar, and then we will be recording this as well. So most of the participants are at mute for now, and we will open for the question once we complete the webinar workflow. So this is Aven here. I'm the CEO and founder, and the primarily this webinar is aiming towards what we have done in 8.5. So it's the story of what we have done in last 6 months. I hope my voice is visible and camera is there. Okay. So if we see this is mostly the roadmap. This has been shared with some of our partners and customers who have shown interest in terms of where we are moving. So if you see right hand side, there's a lot of logical enhancements we have been talking about, and there are a lot of new capabilities which we have been talking about. So the version 8 to 8.5 is moving towards some of the new capabilities, and our aim in this webinar is to show and touch upon some of them because this is getting more and more extensive. And primarily, most of the partners are interested in knowing what is the generative AI that we are trying to bring in here. So we will touch upon that as well. As BDB defines that there are four limbs of the modern data analytics, because when we started like 22 years back, it was mainly business intelligence. And then with the real-time data and all the data engineering aspect started becoming very important. And then data science we have been talking about, and now generative AI. So how these all these four limbs we have tried to address in 8.5. Some of you would have been using the product, but if you see now, what we have made it is extremely simple that I can upload my CSV or Excel in the sandbox. I can do my data preparation, and we have introduced an auto preparation here. And through the auto preparation, I can create my data store or meta store metadata easily, and with drag and drop create report. And now machine learning for unsupervised learning, machine learning is possible in my browser. And so this helps me in building my use cases in minutes or in hours. And now we have added the UI part, we have added themes, we have added tabs and other things in the business intelligence part, and added PostgreSQL as well in the overall support. Now, as we move from business intelligence to data engineering, then possibly what changes is that now the sources are multiple. The sources can be your real time, your batch, your structured, your unstructured, and a lot of other things. And at the same time, what we have seen is we had to evolve the platform for the usage of the data engineers. And we have evolved this by evolving the notebook feature, and so that you can have a push and pull via Git, and then how developers can start working on this. So we have created some separate videos on this. You will see them soon in YouTube, and then this group of people will get an update about that as well. Apart from evolving notebook, we have added a lot of features in the pipeline, and now the jobs is completely generally available. Enhanced UI observability audits, and we have introduced alerts also so that you can do alerts. Synthetic data generation capabilities we have been thinking, and now we have taken it to a decent level now. So that when we say no time, this means that earlier, like when I started my career, POC used to take few months because customers never used to give the data. Now, if you know the metadata, you will be able to create that kind of data in 2-3 hours, and then create a POC, which is absolutely logical in 2-3 hours or 2-3 days. Now, how do we have enhanced the data science AI ML part? So this is getting a little bit more complex in terms of how your ingestion is now being handled by the data pipeline. And then there's a lot of data science components coming in. Then you have computer vision, auto ML, and then simple data science lab, and how we can do the virtualization and do the visualization and control everything. So this is the perfect the platform, how BDB platform looks as of today. And in AutoML, we have added forecasting. Explainability features has been added more. And we feel that this is now much more suitable for a data scientist as well. Now, where we have done the generative AI. So when we talk about generative AI, integrating with OpenAI or ChatGPT and all that has been very simple, which we have been talking about with some of our customers, and we have created some demos also. But if we see the more logical step is that how we can empower our developers. So to empower our developers, we have added assist everywhere. So in 8.5, we have just come up with the beta version of it. So we will be able to show assist only in one segment and also how powerful it is and how you can use it. But eventually, together with BDB and with partners and customers, our aim will be to have assist everywhere and help you to not only do a systematic search in the end, which is for your customers and for our customers and for partners' customers, but at the same time, how it helps you to build it seamlessly. So this is what we will be targeting to show. And now I'm giving it to Mani. Mani is our solution architect, and he will drive this with a very simple use case in next 35 to 40 minutes, where he can show a lot of new features. And say 40 minutes have limitations, but to start with a logical problem and come out with a logical answer of that. So over to you, Mani.
Yeah. Thanks, Arvind. Hello, everyone. So let me share my screen. So hope you're able to see the screen now. So on 8.5, as Avin said that we have done a lot of UI enhancements where the platform engineer will be able to get the BA workflow done in a very faster manner and simpler ways in our 8.5 version of the platform. And we have introduced certain components to start generating the data. There is a synthetic data generator, and we can start doing the transformation, or we can start taking the components into the pipeline and everything in a simple flow itself. So I'll take an example of a use case where we consider a retail customer. It's a restaurant customer's data, and we wanted to know, like, we have wanted to predict that customers' membership is in a right way or not. Like, we are just trying to predict the membership plan of that each customer based on the information available for us. So to start with, I just go to the pipeline of our platform. So I'm just going to the pipeline. I'm going to create a new pipeline here. So here you can just go and click on new pipeline here and create it. So I'll just name it as webinar, right? So I'm just going for a medium configuration here. I'm saving it. So now first thing what we have to do is we have to start generating the data, or we have to start producing the data. First place you have to go to in the pipeliners, go to the producer. You'll be having a synthetic data generator available for you. So you just drag and drop this and start configuring it. You can just make it as a real time, and you need to give the meta information where what kind of data has to be generated from this. So right now we have, you can provide the information a draft 07 JSON schema format so that you can start loading the data in that way. So, and certain things you have to configure when you are in the meta information, that is a iteration, delay, and batch. Iteration is how many times you want this component has to produce the data. Like you wanted to produce 100 times the data has to be produced, and what is the delay between each iterations, and what's the number of records it has to generate from this. So you have to configure that. So for this use case, I'm just setting it up 10 iterations, delay is 5 seconds, and my batches of 10 records will be generated. Here to generate the JSON form schema, so we have provided an option where you can upload a file here. You can upload a basic uh, CSV or an Excel file where our synthetic data generator component itself will have you a basic schema developed for you. So based on the file, what are the columns you need to have, based on the metadata as well. So here you can just see what is the age factor, gender, and everything can be configured. But right now it is in a basic one. So I wanted to make it more configurable. So I'm just taking already prepared uh, JSON schema and I'm putting it to that. So here I'll try to explain what is this data is all about. Here we are just start to generate the name. So by default, if you give a name and format as name, you will get a random names from the synthetic data generator itself. And here you can use a patterns also. You can use a regular expressions to define what kind of patterns has to be generated. For example, customer ID and what is the min and max age you wanted to generate for your processes. You can define that as well. And you wanted to define certain category columns, which would be like male, female, and other. What is the weightage of those kind of records which is getting generated from this synthetic data generator? That also you can give it in this weightage or weights section. So now whatever the data is getting generated, for example, if I'm generating 10 records, 3 records will be of male, 5 record will be of female, and 2 records will be of others. So the weightages will be distributed in this way. If you are not giving these weightages, the complete data will be distributed equally. So when a data scientist or analyst started to see the data, he might need skewed with some other categorical values. So he'll be able to tweak these weights and get the proper data for him to do the analysis. And then the join date, you can go and give a format as date, maximum and minimum date can be given. And this membership status is regular, gold, and platinum. These are all auto generated from the synthetic data generator itself. And for now it's a mobile number. Here also we are giving the regular expression pattern to generate the data. And what is the rating they are giving for our restaurant, for 0 to 1 or 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, whatever the min and max, we can define it here. And for this particular data generation, I'm considering the restaurant is in Karnataka and 2 places in Karnataka. So if you wanted to generate a huge data for all over India for multiple cities and stuff, still this synthetic data generator component supports you to prepare a logical data with multiple rules based on the other columns also. So that kind of schema can be prepared and used here. And these are the columns. As an output, we will get customer name, age, gender, join date, membership status, mobile number, name, again like ratings, and city and state. These are the columns we will be getting from here. So now, as usual, like we need to start using the events for communicating between each components in our pipeline. So I'm just creating an event here, adding this event. I'm drag and dropping this. I'll configure this. Now I'm generating this event. So, but if you notice here I'm, I need to save this. Just give me a minute. And I'll save the pipeline as well. So here, if you notice in the metadata, we are not generating the email IDs here. So email IDs, I'm not generating any email ID of a customer. So in order to generate that, I need a help or I need assistance. Like right now, we can use any transformation. You can do that, or we can start using our SQL queries to do the transformation. This is a basic assist what I'm going to do, but Power BDB assist can help much more also. If I wanted to use a SQL component and add one more column to this, what I can do here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump it into the BDB assist here. So here I'm giving what are the column names I'm having. Below are the column names of the customer table. That's the data what I'm generating. And I'm just asking a help to this assist. Write a select statement SQL for this table and concatenate at Gmail along with the customer ID of it. So I'm just running it. So if I run this, what will happen is you will just, okay, it will activate the project. So the project has to be activated. Once it is activated, it will just start generating the data for you. So whatever the assist information has to be provided for you, it will start generating it. Just give a minute for getting the project activated. So I'm running this now. So it gets generated. So you will get this information like based on the whatever the queries you are giving, it generates your SQL for you. You can just directly copy paste this into the pipeline as well. So just copy paste this into the pipeline SQL component directly. I'll just say this invocation also real time, and I'm giving a df. This is the table name I'm giving. So what will happen here is, so whatever the data getting generated after this will have an email column. That column can be used for identifying that particular user. So now this after this, now I wanted to start using the classification model, which is built by one of my data scientists, which helps to identify what kind of membership group they belongs to. So now again, I'm going to the my DS Lab notebook itself. This is the customer classification model created by my data scientist, where he defined all this libraries, which is the train data, which is the test data, what is the models and everything he defines here. And then he created or he saved this as a model. So here he saved this as a customer classification V1 as a model. So to give the input to this model, we have to do the encoding of certain columns. So that also is being done as a script inside the DS Lab itself. So these places, I'll show you how we can directly integrate, pull this information into the pipeline to do our real-time processing. So let me go here and I'm adding one more event here in this place. I'll join this. Now I'll just start using the DS Lab script runner component. From where you can get is you can get this from the machine learning component. You just drag and drop the DS Lab runner. Here, join this again. Here also we will make this as an real-time component, and in the meta information we will give it's a script, because first time I'm going to take the script to do the data encoding part. So I'll just take the encoding part of it. This customer new data is getting encoded. These are the three columns we are encoding: gender, state, and customer ID of the three columns we are encoding it for our next process. I'll save this component, save my pipeline, and I'll add one more event here. So this event, the data which is coming out of this DS Lab component will have the email ID added and the encoded data. Now I wanted to pass this into the model which is created here. So this customer classification model. So I'll use again one more DS Lab component here, where you can go and configure it based on the DS Lab model. So I'll just go and take it as a DS Lab model runner now. Before I was taking a script runner, now I'm taking model runner here. So I'm selecting the project which has to be taken as well. So webinar O5. And this is the model I'm going to run for this particular data. So this model, what does this model do is, so when whatever the data we are getting, we have generated the membership group. That membership group, it tries to predict, and we will be able to compare what is the results from the predicted data and the actual ones as well in the later point of the workflow. So now I'll just we need to first, what I have to do is I need to write this into a database, or I need to write this into a data store where I'll be able to start plotting my visualization as such. So here I'm connecting to the event, and then I need to write this information to a database. So I'll use a writer component here. DB writer. So in order to configure this, I need to take this configuration and stuff manually. So we in platform itself, we are having an option where you can search for the component, and then you can start using it from the other pipelines. So I'm just taking this. This is the component I'm going to use. So I'm just taking this into this. So this component is available for me. Now I can directly configure it by reutilizing the existing components, which is already pre-configured in other pipelines as well. So I can just click on this customer classified. This is the component name. I'm changing it to V1. And then these are the configurations I have done. And I'm writing the data to this customer data, web customer data 1. So I'll validate this connection, whether it is successful, or save it. So once I save this, I'll save this, update this pipeline. Some meta information is missing. Okay, I might have missed it. So I can save this again. Save it, update, activate the pipeline. So once you activate it, what will happen is the components will start to come. and then you'll start to get this logs in the advanced log section, what all the components will get up based on the resource availability. So whenever the data is the components are up and ready for doing the data run, so it will start to produce the data. So from here, I'll just show how the data can be created for each thing. So I'll just jump into another space where I have this pre-run, so that I'll be able to show you clearly. So this is the synthetic data generator. What will happen is I'll activate it. So once it is getting activated, you will start getting the number of records increasing here. So you can just go to this meta information, which is getting produced, like 1,000 records is getting produced, and you'll be able to see what is the preview of it. Name, customer ID, age, and everything is getting generated here. And then this particular SQL component generates the email column as well. So I can go and click on this preview to understand the email column here. So this particular DS Lab component does the encoding of the gender and state. So it is doing this encoding here. And this particular component trying to predicts the membership status. So I'll just go here and check what is the predicted value. So it's predicting for this predicting for each customers as gold or whatever the status they belongs to, the regular or gold or platinum status. So this way, this data is getting written to this particular database as well. So now we have started to populate the data and we are able to write the data into the database in few minutes itself. Now the second point we have to start checking about now is how we will be able to start getting the visualization done from this data what we have written. So let me go to the data center. So for this purpose, I'll go to the data center. So data center, I'll be able to connect to the data the table what I was writing from here. This table, web customer data. This table I'll be able to write here. So I'll just take the data store metadata. I'll have to go and click on new, go to the data store metadata. I'm going to configure web customer demo, and I can select the web customer data here. So next, I can click on it. I'll be getting this dimension and measures available for me. Now I wanted to change certain columns into dimensions. So I'll just change this gender code, customer encoded and state encoded into dimension, and just keeping the rating and age as the measure column. I'm clicking on next. So here I can do the hierarchy definition. Hierarchy definition is that if you want to do any drill down based on the state and stuff, you can just drag and drop the state first and the city. So city and state and city will be the hierarchy, which will be helpful when we are visualizing the data. And I'm going for next. So this data restriction is a place where we can do this role-based access control, where you can start creating the data whenever whomever logs in, based on their login, the reports will be generated only. Reports will be showing only the data allowed for them. So I'm just clicking finish here. So once I click finish, I'll get a pop-up here, and then I can go to this information of store details. This store details is having how much data total records is generated. It is having 2,760 records, and what are the dimensions, what are the measures. If I have any time dimension also, it will be listing this. So I just close this. Now we have created the data store metadata here. Now we can go to the my documents again and start creating the report from here. So you can just click on the create button and click create new report. So give a name to this. I'm selecting a existing data store because we have created it. So I'm just selecting this web customer demo data store and create report. So once I click on this create report, I'll be taking into the report design canvas. Report design canvas here. So from here, I can start drag and drop and create my visualizations from here. Here you have a two UIs, which is the old UI and the latest UI, which has been available for the users to do the self-service reports here. So I'll just drag and drop to know how much customers I'm having. So I'll just do customer. I'm just doing count of customer ID and go. So if I'm doing it by default, you will be prompted with what kind of chart suitable for the queries what you have written there. Then you can just go and start configuring it. You can just say, you can, I don't want to have any titles here, and go to the properties, say number of customers and precision of this. I don't want this precision, so I'm just removing this precision and save. So once I save this, what will happen? This data is getting stored here, and then you have this tile generated here. And the new concept here we have introduced in the business story or the reports is you will be having a tab sections here. So in order to how you can utilize it, you have multiple data files to be visualized, and you wanted to plot that in a single business story with multiple tabs, you can go ahead and build it. So right now I'm just going to have a customer over, overview. So likewise, I'll be able to start adding insights tab to this. I'll be able to add sales and sales details also into this. So now I'm going to add two more charts or like three more charts to build this report. I'm going to add one more chart based on gender wise. How many people are there? Gender wise, count of customer ID. I'll go. If I'm clicking on go, I'll be getting this information passed here. So now here I can just go on changing. If I wanted to change the chart, you can just go and click on the charts. You'll be able to change it. And again, you can go and change the um, title of it, number of customers by gender. And if you wanted to change any properties here, how much, what is the, uh, uh, what are the colors if you wanted to change it, and you wanted to have this legends to be fixed or floating, you'll be able to check from here, and you can just click on this and save. So once you save this, the chart also will be available for you. You just move this letter to make a good visualization out of it. I'm saving this, and I'm going to add one more chart here. This is going to be gender wise average rating. So I'm just going to do a average rating here. So gender wise, what is the average rating they have done? So I'll take a rating here and go. So by default, if I'm clicking on go, it will do a sum. So now I want to convert that into an average. So I'll just click on the three dots. Instead of sum, I'll just click on mean. Now I'll be getting this information here. Now I can just say average rating, and then it automatically changes. And if you wanted to set anything on the x-axis and y-axis, you can start typing it. So I'm just saying uh, mm, gender is the x-axis category axis, and average rating by each gender. So I'm saving this into the business story. So now these two things are saved here. Now let me start adding one more grid to this by just have a detailed grid. When they join, what is the membership status, what is the predicted membership status, what is their age, maybe I don't want age, what is the rating by each one, and which state they belong to, and what city they belong to. I click on go. So if I'm having a one dimension and multiple one measure and multiple dimension, that's engine has been by default it proposed as a decomposition chart, but we don't need a decomposition chart. Instead of that, if you wanted to go and you view using a grid, you just go and change this and save. So this grid also will be available for us. You just have to drag and drag this here and save it. So this, by this way, you will be able to start generating the data, and you'll be able to plot this reports in a matter, like it will be in a less than a half an hour or sometime you'll be able to get this data into the reports, and you'll be able to plot it. Now to added advantage, what we have brought in this particular version of reports is you'll be able to start using the themes here. So this is the theme you can start using. There's a default around 6 to 7 themes which is there from the BDB side itself. You can choose any of the themes. One click, your complete themes will be getting updated, and you will be able to start getting this data properly into the like latest themes, whatever you are choosing it, and then you can save it. So whenever you are coming back, this theme will be applied on top of this data. So till now, what I have shown here is like we have built the data, and we are able to generate the data, and we are able to load the data. Now I wanted to make it more real time. I wanted to make it like to change these numbers and stuff. So what I'm going to do is going to the pipeline. So here I'm going to add in this place how I can make it as real. So whenever there is a customer coming in, there is a prediction happening for that particular customer. Then I need to parallelly inform this business story, which is available here to generate the data or refresh the data. So what I'm going to do is, in order to do that, I'm just stopping this pipeline. I'm making this event as having two outputs here, so that if I'm saving it, you will get two outputs here. Now I need to use two components here to have this information given to the reports. One is a WebSocket component, which connects and gives the message to the report. Second is a Python component, which generates the message. So to have this Python component, you can go and use a scripting. I can drag and drop the Python component here, join it. Again, I'll configure the Python component. So when I'm configuring it, I'm having a question here. What is the message I wanted to configure? Is the name of it, and we need to get that in a function also. So here, one more place, our BDB assist will help. You can go to the BDB assist directly and ask a question to that. So for example, I have checked this point here already. Generate a Python function to process the input data with the input parameter as an input data. This is the parameter what I wanted to pass. The function doesn't need to do any any operations on top of the input data. Whenever the data comes, it has to just generate write done message, which will be pushed to the business story to refresh the data. So I have asked this question to it. If I'm sending it, it generates that Python code, small Python code. The same way, if you are giving clinical, like clear logics to this BDB assist, it helps you to get the details on the Python code and other things. So I can just directly copy paste this into my pipeline. I'm just removing the comments. Choose the function and what is the input data it is going to be. And if you are using any external libraries, you can mention it here. But right now we are not using any external library. I'm saving this and I'm saving this. Next is a component to produce this information to the business story. So again, I'm going to the producer and I'm taking this WebSocket producer. So to join this, I need a event. So I'm adding an event here. Save. And we need to configure this WebSocket as real time. Save this. So once you saved, and you can save this also, you will get the meta information of this WebSocket, which can be configured inside the pipeline. I click on this meta information. So this is the WebSocket URL, which produces the messages uh, whenever there is a write done from this particular pipeline. It gives this information as write done. So I'm copying this message from the meta information, this link from the meta information, copying it, and I'm going to configure my report to make it as real-time refresh. So there is an option in the right side panel, live refresh. So I can enable it. I'll put the WebSocket link and I'm going to put what is the message it's going to get. Right then. And here it is output. This is the message. Whenever this message comes in, this particular report refreshes and takes you the latest data from the database. So here there's an option of refreshing all the views which is available for you, or there is an option you can just select any one of the views and get it refreshed. So for now, I'm choosing this two and I'm applying here. So now again, I'm going to activate the pipeline so that we'll be able to start getting the data here. So I'll open another report which is already created for this purpose. I'll just refresh and keep it to your latest data. You can just see how the numbers are getting changed in a real time after I activate this pipeline. Stop. So I'm just configuring this synthetic data generator to produce 50 iterations. It's going to produce 50 iterations, 50 times the data in a delay of 5 seconds. And each time when you are getting the latest data, you get a batch of 10 records into it. I'm going to activate this. So let me see, the data is getting increased in each events. First, we need to see the logs are getting updated. Yeah, the components are up. Let me see this meta information, whether it is getting increased. Yeah, if you notice, it is getting increased each batch. 1060. So 1010 it is getting increased. Let me go to the next one and check how many records are coming here. Yeah, it's processing. It's getting increased. Same way, the other components also will keep increasing the numbers. This is on the encoding part. This is on the prediction part. The data is getting increased. Now it writes the data to this, and this particular Python component generates a write done message here. So I'm just going and showing you the write done message. This is the message we get it, and how many records it is getting generated. So it is keep generating it. So whenever this message goes to this business story will get refreshed. So I'm just keeping it. I'll make sure that connection is live. Yeah. So what will happen is this views, whatever is there here, will keep refreshing. So now you might have noticed I'm not doing any refresh here. Based on the data push happens from the component, this particular charts, whatever I have configured, will keep refreshing and the numbers will keep changing. Earlier it was 3027 or something, it's get refreshed. So like this, you'll be able to orchestrate a real-time data coming in and you'll be able to visualize it here whenever the data is getting pushed into your data store or the database as well. So these are the points I just wanted to cover on the reporting side. So along with this, how our BDB Assist will help you on generating the insights using the dashboard designer as well. So let me go to the BDB Assist, which is integrated into our dashboard designer, which is connected to a restaurant data as well here also. So what happen? Our BDB Assist can be configured into other inside the dashboards. So I'm just going to use this restaurant sales. This is the data store I'm going to configure, and I'm going to just take this option of give top 10 to this. Yeah. The data is getting generated based on the insights whatever I'm giving. So this way you will be able to get this BDB Assist enable on top of the data and it will generate you the insights as well. So I just need to explain one more point here. I'm just jumping into the business story again to show you how our ML in browser or the data, whatever the data available for you, how you will be able to take the data and get this insights out. So I'm just going to click on this plus because I wanted to get this into a new tab. So insights. Insights. I'm just going to click on this create new ML view. So I just click on this create new ML view. I'm just taking the names, uh, email column, city, city, age, and the ratings. I'll click on go. So these are the information what I'm having here. Now I can click on this ML properties. The same way how you are building this reports or the views here also you can go and build this. Now you'll be having ML properties as a new section here. You can click on this ML properties where you get the ML task. You just select. Right now I'm going to do a segmentation on top of this data. So I just took the segmentation. I'm just going to select what are the futures. So these futures are going to be ratings. I'm based on the ratings, do the segmentation and then I'm just doing a cluster count. I'm just giving 4 clusters and I'm doing a predict. So once I do this predict, you'll be able to cluster this ML in the browser. So what we say, we have this ML inside the business story or the reports, which runs in the browser, and you'll be able to get this information or the clustering done here. And here I can change this into a chart as well. So I can just enable it, max, and save this. So once I save this, this predicted or predicting based on the cluster predicted, we'll be able to get that added into our reports as well. So I can just increase the size of this also. Okay. So this way we'll be able to get this data into the reports. I can show you the same report itself. I can show you this one more tab which has this information. Yeah, in the overview, this particular gender, what's there here is based on clustering output only. So here I can go and edit. It's a ML view. So where you can just go and change these properties and save it. So by this way, it has been categorize the clusters. The same way you can change that into a start and a chart and save this as well. This is on top of this reports how ML in a browser, how live refresh and everything loads fine into the data. And the second thing what I was showing you here is on top of the dashboards, how our assist can be integrated with the data and the insights can be generated based on the data. Yeah. So I think like the parts what I want to cover is done. So we can take it back to Avin and for the QA
Money,
sessions.
please show the entire business story that that now for the entire restaurant business, how we can show everything in
Mm.
one single report itself. So if you see the different part of the restaurant business in terms of order, branch analysis, customer analysis, inventory analysis, and then insight, all of this, we can just cover it here itself. So from primarily from creating a synthetic data for all the parts of that business and then creating this report is now a matter of few hours. And what we have done is we have created multiple workflows which shows the different parts of the platform on the basis of different kind of complexities. And we have already created that. So we will be sharing some of these content with some of our partners who are trying to pick up the platform in a fast way. So what we wanted to show in this whole exercise is that how it is interwoven in such a way that becomes comparatively much easier to do the entire process together and come up with a drag and drop type of a product or a platform. At the same time, this platform is extremely useful for developers as well. And then we will be sharing some of those videos where developers can also use it as data engineers or as a data scientist and use it effectively. So, Mani, is there anything else you wanted to show, cover in the pipeline or in the assist? So if you can just go to BDB assist once more. Maybe Jatin, who is our lead data scientist, he may wanted to cover more in terms of how this works.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Jatin. So, in this, what we have tried to bring in is for developers who are trying to work on particular data science problem or a data engineering problem. We have tried to bring in assistance inside the DS lab, which is the current screen which you see. Normally, we have like the code and the markdown cells. Now we also have provided a assist cell which is like a personal assistant for writing the code, debugging the code, suggesting some, if you pass the data set to this because it is hosted by BDB, so you can easily pass the enterprise data without any security leak problems. So you can actually generate insights on that particular data, create like problem definition you can create, and obviously explain the code and generate the code very fast. So it's basically enhancing the productivity of a particular developer while writing the like custom defined functions and product making the productionization very fast. And as I earlier mentioned, the assist is basically hosted by our by BDB, so there's no problem of the security or any data leakages.
Yeah, so and I just wanted to add one more point in this alert section. So here we have added the alert section inside the BDB pipeline itself, where you can start using the alerts as a notification publisher or email component also. You'll be able to send this alert in an email component. And the next is an alerts. So here you can drag and drop to show you how you can configure the things real time. And here you will be having a option to configure to Teams channel or a Slack channel. So these alerts can be directly sent to the Teams or Slack channels directly as well. So this is a new alert component which is built for us.
Yeah. So again, this is Avin here. So in terms of the assist part, I wanted to stress on one more factor is so why we are showing the development part more than like a chat GPT type of a thing and then type something and then get the answer is as we move towards different kind of industries, the SLMs are going to be more important. SLM is your smaller language models. Um, because large language models, definitely we have seen it, but small language models on a limited infrastructure and let's say a few million parameters is going to be more useful for, let's say, financial industry or retail or telecom or something like that. And this is where BDB can be used to develop your own and grow your SLMs so that you will have vertical based solutions which you will be able to sell it to your customers in a better way. And the data security and other aspects you don't have to worry about. So BDB is going to help you in terms of giving you the right kind of a direction on that side, work with you, and at the same time help your data scientists to create the kind of IP which you want to create. And at present, as we have shown, this is available as beta only. So most of the customers or partners who are there on our platform, we can enable it for them. Definitely because there are GPU servers which we have to enable. Then we can work on that together with them.